But I think one thing I will say, I mean, the school's produced a lot of extremely successful and amazing people, and
Mm.
I say that there's a flip side. A lot of people have a great time there, but then there's others that where it just doesn't work out for them, but they still gain something from it, I would say. I've spoken to a few on both sides of the spectrum. The majority of people that go there have a great time and they gain a lot from it. For myself, I definitely it made me more committed into that. Don't try and be a funny stand-up, just be a be a clown. That's what I do. That makes people laugh. So focus more on that. I also found a comedy character. I play Zorro on stage, so that it gave me that. Um, it also, yeah, I'd say in a lot of aspects, I did enjoy it. I learned a lot from it, but there were bits I'd say I didn't even fit in there either. So I
Yeah,
didn't fit.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't fit. I'll be honest, I did not fit in either of the times I was there. And there, but I will say one thing because I have seen instances where people have been kicked out of the school. I remember when I was there the second time, there was a really mad incident which I wasn't there or I didn't see of, but there was a girl. Shall I say her name? No, I won't say her name. But she got in a big argument with Philippe, and they got in a big like he was roasting her. She didn't like it, and then she said, "Oh, like he's a bad teacher, whatever." And then after that, she got kicked out. And then I heard like the previous year, like there was guys complaining, "I've been working bars. You, how dare you say this?" Or there'll be instances where people would, if Carlo was on or another teacher, would avoid it and just go to Philippe's lesson, and then they got kicked out. But then obviously you have people like Zach, you have all sorts of people that have really learned from it. And majority of times, a lot of people build great friendships from it.
Yeah.
I'd say a roundabout way in all of it, I think you'll gain something from it, whether like clowning is for you or it's not, I'd say.
I I think so. I mean, you can never know what somebody else's experience truly is. And I know people who have been through the school who have gone, nah, not for me. This just wasn't for me. Um, you asked me that. I suppose I'm not even sure I answered your question, Marvin. But what changed for me was I think I learned on the vehicle of learning how to be a clown.
Okay.
I think I learned how to navigate my own ego
Ah,
and how to recognize that sometimes my ego was not useful and sometimes it is. And when you recognize that, it becomes a real skill to be able to use it and not use it at will. And also to navigate a creative journey. I think something that people lose sight of when they're at Philippe Gaulier is, and maybe some people don't even have this to begin with. And this is the sad thing about the school in a way, because it is open to all, which is a wonderful thing. Philippe doesn't discriminate. It's not like Lecoq where you have to audition for the second year.
whoa.
You can go to Philippe, you can do, you know, he calls it his a la carte menu where you can go and you can do a term. Somebody wants to go and do clowning and Shakespeare or whatever it is, or Chekhov, and you can pick what you go and do. When I was there, I felt that there were some people who were there because of the name Philippe Gaulier. And in that way, they wanted to put that name on their CV. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that there is an incredible amount of work, dedication, um, an incredible amount of vision that needs to go into a clowning career. You know, to be a really good clown, you have to nurture your own curiosity. You have to be curious about the world. It's not something that I think can be acted. You don't in clown, you don't act. And if you do act, we might love you for 30 seconds. But then all of a sudden it becomes clear that you're acting because the act runs out, you appear, and actually what we discover in that way, and it's the bit after the act when the clown emerges, because the true human being, the vulnerability of not hiding behind an act, starts to unravel. And that when that unravels, now, if you think about that as an idea, therefore it asks different questions of the performer or the person. It's asking you to go somewhere slightly different, to vulnerability, to be exposed, to be vulnerable, to stand there with nothing and then offer something of yourself and risk that it might not be liked. But then the skill comes in, right? Which is understanding that you offer something of yourself, it's a big flop. But the big flop brings the tension in the room. Now you've got the tension in the room, the skill, break the tension. You're in that lovely scientific place, you know, it's a science take going on here, which is tension, break tension, we smile, we laugh. You do something, the audience goes, oh God, that was awful. Great, you've got them there. Break the tension. Oh, he thinks it's crap, you know, and they smile, they laugh. So you've got to learn those skills. You've got to go through that. You've got to, you know, it's that lovely thing about being a competent, isn't it? Conscious competence, you know. So first of all, we're ignorant, right? We've got this ignorance, incompetence going on. Then we become aware of it, and we become sort of consciously incompetent. Then we start to practice the skills, and we try and we fail, and we try and we fail, we try and we fail, and we move into this kind of conscious competence. But then when you start to, you've been up there a hell of a lot, you've done the work, you've been through Gaulier, you've stood on the stage, you've heard the drum enough times, you've gone through it, or you move into that beautiful place of subconscious competence, where all of a sudden you go, I'm good here now. But the amount of work to get there is a lot. And I think a lot of people just thought, I'm going to go to Gaulier. Clowning's this thing where you get up and you improvise a bit. I'll go improvise. I'll get a few laughs. And if I don't, then anyway, I've been at Gaulier, it can go on my CV. But when they were getting banged off the stage, you know, 30 seconds, no pleasure, no joy, no connection with the audience, they're like, their ego gets a kick. And their ego responds, well, I'm, you know, the quickest way to elevate your ego, well, I'm good. This must be shit, you know? So I saw that a lot, and my heart bled for Philippe, because I saw him have several arguments, and I on several occasions, and I won't mention names either, but I would hope that the people involved appreciated that, because you know, grew to appreciate what he was trying to do with them afterwards. Maybe not in the moment when emotion's high, but maybe further down the road. I mean, I had several beers with a couple of people that had a sort of a set to with Philippe, and you know, I always wanted to support people. I've always been like that, and I remember sort of putting my arm around, in particular, this guy, and just sort of saying, look, you know, it's all right, dude. You know, it's just that didn't work. But you know, so for example, you see this a lot at Gaulier, don't you? Someone comes on, tries something. So Philippe puts us all in a costume, day one. So let's say you're a cricketer, and you come on and you do this thing with a bat and a ball, and Philippe bangs around and goes, no, we put this guy in a bin, and that's it. You know, you're off the stage, and you stand there, and everyone looks and goes, yeah, that was awful. And you stand there and you take it and you go, okay, and you sit down. And then everybody else has a go. And then the next exercise, and the same person gets up and they get with their bat and the ball, and the same bat and ball gag. Did it work this time? They kind of go, and Philippe bang drum. No, this guy, we see this guy before. He's now in the bin with acid. Yes. and we go, yeah, okay. Everybody in the audience is going, oh, this is hard to watch, but just don't stop doing that gag with the ball and the bat. Stop it. Try and find something else. But in that moment, the performer is desperately trying to find some sort of comfort. But actually, it's the discomfort that takes them in the right direction. Mm. And so in that moment, then Philly, they get up again, third time. but Philippe, I haven't done anything yet. All I've done is hit the ball with the bat. And Philippe goes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And we all go, ah. And now it's funny. And now the person standing there, everyone's laughing. The person with the ball, ah. And now they're hilarious. And it's because all of a sudden they've dropped the ego. They've dropped that want to be comfort, that want to be comfortable on stage. And if you think about what acting is, actors, you know, the aim is to be comfortable. Well, it used to be. You know, if you think about director, actor, the vision is this. I feel that you come onto the stage there. You stand there. We used to call it blocking, didn't we? You stand there, then this happens there, then oh yeah, then oh that line a little bit more like that. Ah, brilliant. Let's just do that again. Ah, brilliant. Do it again. Ah, that bit. Oh, just add that. Oh yeah, perfect. That's it. We'll like that. We'll like that, and that can happen every night. And now everyone's comfortable in that space. So you feel comfortable. I know what I'm doing. Me myself is hidden behind this act, this sort of, you know, this is what we've designed, what we've come up with.
Yeah.
Wow, and you do that in clown, it's boring. It's so boring. And we want to see you panic. We want you to connect with us first and let us into that world of panic, of real humane stuff that we all feel.